looks like it might have been challenging to get that camper up there, but it looks like a primo spot because they have a view of the river. It's just so beautiful anywhere you stop along here. Basically with this road, you parallel I-15, you crisscross it a little bit, and then you come back out on the freeway at the other end. So it's a nice little detour because you get to be along the river most of the time. There are patches that's not along the river, as you can see here, but there's just beautiful mountain views. So it's well worth the detour. It doesn't take that long. Sometimes taking the slower route, there's a lot of advantages. I've done a lot of fast travel in my life, getting from point A to point B, and now I'm really working pretty hard to just slow down and enjoy the scenery. Life moves too fast. That was a good stop, huh? Anyway, I didn't want to drive as fast as they were. Okay, let's go. So anyway, what I was going to say is one of the problems I've got with some of the material I'm using for my videos is that I really don't have enough of a plan, you know? I just want to show you pretty scenery. And people like a little more than that. They like some interaction. And not having an audience, being new, I'm not really sure how to start that interaction, so I'm kind of winging it and just babbling today. But I do know that that is one of the weak spots that I've had in my videos, and then also maybe I've done putting too many still shots together. But like with the Northern Lights, I just absolutely with those Northern Lights enjoy just watching the subtle changes of the color in the lights, and it's done with pictures and not a video, so I just really think it's pretty fascinating, and I just enjoy watching them and zoning out and just letting things go. I find them a meditative experience, so that's why I really enjoy those like they are. I know that my audience seems to be enjoying the scenery. I honestly don't know what it is that you really want on my channel when you're coming to it. I know that you're tempted by the different scenery that I am saying that I'm viewing, and wanting to check it out as well. But I also know that people are looking for a bit more. Like Nikki, she's entertaining. She's got a story. She's been going on these adventures. Talking about Nikki Del Benthal, that's a good channel. Or Wonder Hussy. Wonder Hussy has all these amazing stories about these places she goes. And if she doesn't have an amazing story, well, then she makes you up one. So what questions would you have for me? What things would you like to see? Is there things in the Great Falls area, or even things in the greater Montana area as I plan for next year that you would love to see? Give me some ideas on what kinds of things you're looking for. We're going to make a stop here. About me, I like to get out, I like to hike, I like to camp. I don't have a super lot of experience doing those things by myself. I have some. I started camping alone because my husband didn't have time and lost interest in camping after we lived off grid in Arizona for about 20 years. A lot of the time it was pretty much like camping, and so his interest waned in those activities. And I finally realized if I wanted to camp, I was going to have to do it alone. And it took me a while to get the courage up. The first time I camped alone was in Chaco Canyon in New Mexico. And that was absolutely gorgeous. I did stay at a developed campground, I guess you would call it. It wasn't developed. There was just campsites. There was no bathroom or anything like that. I don't remember exactly. But the camp host happened to have a really good telescope, and got to see a star being born, so that was absolutely amazing. And then after that, I went camping in California, and at the time I was rebelling against technology, so I refused to use a regular cell phone or a smartphone, and I had an old-fashioned cell phone, and I took all the maps out of my car. I went to California, and I knew California stuff because we had lived there, and I had general understanding. I had traveled to see my in-laws a lot in California, and so I took off to California, and I spent some time in the Sequoia National Forest down near Bakersfield, and that was a lot of fun. And there was some drunk hunters one night. That was a little annoying, but I mean, they really weren't a problem. They just kept yelling bear all night long, trying to scare you. They were drunker than a skunk and left all their stuff out, so they would have been problem people if the bear would have got their food. On the other hand, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I'll be right back with you. Oh, so I left there, and I thought I'd go to the coast because the weather was getting cold because I was in the mountains. So anyhow, I loaded myself up and headed the coast. Crossed Highway 99, was driving towards the coast, and I got this distinct feeling I needed to go to Mount Shasta. So I turned around, changed my direction from west and north, and headed north to Mount Shasta. And it was absolutely amazing. I mean, you could just feel so much power and energy in the area. It's a fascinating place. And I called my husband before camping up there so he could check the weather for me because, like I said, I had no smartphone. And I distinctly heard him tell me there's nothing going to happen. It might rain a little. And he swears he told me that there was going to be rain in town and there could be snow at higher elevations. Well, I didn't realize I was going to be camping at 10,000 feet. I thought I'd be more like 5, 6, which is about like where we were living in Arizona at the time. So to me, that was like not a big deal. And I camped one night, and then it was very nice the first night, and the second night I went for a hike. I up the mountain, and that's when I discovered that I was at a much higher elevation than I realized. They had one of those things where you have to put some money, your name, and da-da-da-da in an envelope. That way that they can find you if something was to happen, and they kind of know who's out there. And I decided I didn't want to go any higher, so I went back to camp, and then I found this medicine wheel, and I had a crystal pyramid, and anyhow, I put it as an offering in the middle of the medicine wheel. And about that time, the winds kick up. It was a crazy storm, and I ended up with 6 inches of snow up there on Mount Shasta. Of course, it was the end of October, and I should have kind of thought about that. The weather can change quickly in the mountains at the end of October, so I've got some getting out I still want to do, so we'll see how that goes. So anyway, my husband panicked. I ended up calling my mom, and she tracked me down the mountain, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. It was much easier than you think. I do find it stressful, but it's much easier, and you know, you can handle it. I hear a lot of women worry, and I have my worries too. Like finding a good campsite is my major issue. I'm coming in from places like Arizona. I mean, I did spend a few years in Florida, but I didn't do anything in Florida. But in Arizona, it's really easy to find places to camp. I mean, you can just pull off almost anywhere, and driving around, you know, you just drive through the national forest all the time, so it's not hard to figure out where you can actually camp. Whereas in Montana, you see signs that say National Forest Access, and you keep driving, and you start wondering where the heck's the National Forest Access, because you're 20 miles down the road, and you still don't see it. So it's just a whole different experience. It's good to see that we're back along that water again. I really appreciate it when I'm driving. So. And now it's moving away again. It's okay, we're gonna keep going. I'll be back when we got some scenery. This is pretty through here. All the trees, leaves. I'm Lori, and I appreciate you watching, and I look forward to seeing you next week.